Alright, people. Today I'm going to be talking about something you've likely never heard before. This thing I'm going to talk about is, as the title suggests, Spinofaarism. You're most likely wondering what Spinofaarism is, but in order to understand Spinofaarism, you need to know what Spinofaarus is. If you don't, I'd recommend checking out these videos by Rick Raptor and Dino Diego. These videos will be linked in the description. I'll give you a second to watch those videos first. Oh, you're done? Alright, let's continue with the video. Spinofaarism consists of the main belief that Spinofaarus is the main deity. There is another religion that is allied with Spinofaarism where they worship the Chad Chasmosaurus. The Chad Chasmosaurus is not worshipped in Spinofaarism, but the holy texts of Spinofaarism do say that Chasmosaurus and Spinofaarus did meet each other around the Campanian period and became friends. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. In Spinofaarism, there are many angels. And there's so many that I'll probably have to make an entire other video on them. But anyway, Spinofaarus doesn't just have regular angels, but has favored angels too. Favored angels are Spinofaarus' right-hand people, with them each serving a certain role. The favored angels in this religion are Pablo, Bernard, Oro, Odo, Larry, He, Mapusaurus the Very Based, and Leslie. So, each of these favored angels serve a purpose, with two examples being Pablo eating the souls of the damned, and Larry tracking down enemies of Spinofaarus. Some of the relations between the favored angels have been uncovered, with those being Bernard and He being fragments of Spinofaarus. Pablo is very close to Spinofaarus, and Leslie is Pablo's sister. Also retaining to the favored angels, in Spinofaarism, you don't have to worship Spinofaarus. You are free to worship any of the favored angels. Alright, next up, I want to tell you guys something. Mapusaurus the Very Based wasn't always a favorite angel, and originally there was another being in his place. That being was Ricky. You may know Ricky as that oversized and screwed up looking Fasolasuchus from 65. To quote an excerpt from the holy text of Spinofaarus, Spinofaarus creates the Fasolasuchus race to protect the earth, under the leadership of one of his favorite angels, Ricky. So this event happened roughly around 220 million years ago, give or take. Ricky was originally not bothered by this, but over time he grew a resentment for Spinofaarus, as Spinofaarus sent him to babysit these lower life forms. So, after 7 million years, Ricky finally snapped and turned on Spinofaarus. This enraged Spinofaarus, as then they killed off most of the Fasolasuchus race, and of course Ricky hid away and is plotting his revenge, or was. Though after Spinofaarus' genocide, they felt bad and made all the surviving Fasolasuchus regular angels. Though, as there was now a gap in the favored angels group, Spinofaarus created Mapusaurus the Very Based. Alright, moving on. Around 66 million years ago, during the KPG extinction, Spinofaarus was on Earth, and when the asteroid hit, Spinofaarus created a shield for themselves, believing that it was time for mammals to take over. This would soon turn out to be a bad decision, as when Spinofaarus did that, they separated into different parts, each one being their own individual being. This does not mean that Spinofaarus is dead, far from it. Spinofaarus was basically banished from Earth until all the fragments are recombined. Spinofaarus can still occasionally visit Earth, but can only do it sometimes and for a short period of time. I will now list some of the fragments of Spinofaarus and what each one represents. And again, these are the only ones that we currently know of. This list may change in the future. The fragments that we know of at the moment are he, Bernard, Godzilla, Sans, and no, not the Undertale character, and David Peters' house. He represents the righteousness of Spinofaarus. Bernard is the polar opposite of he. Godzilla represents Spinofaarus' omnipotence, and David Peters' house represents the multiverse, which we will get to later. And also Sans stands for Spinofaarus after not surviving. Basically, Spinosaurus uh, appeared in Morocco 6 million years ago. It was a time anomaly, and scientists dub it Sans, Spinosaurus after not surviving. Anyway, as Spinofaarus split up, Ricky used this opportunity to corrupt a few of Spinofaarus' angels, with the ones that he could corrupt being some of the remaining Fasolasuchus, 2 Spinosaurus, multiple Valabona Venatrix, and a Giganotosaurus. He also allied with a longtime enemy of Spinofaarus, Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. He also would create an army of abominations, but more about them in a bit. These corrupted entities would later be known as the corrupted Fasolasuchus, 18-meter InGen Spinosaurus, Monsters Resurrected Spinosaurus, Monsters Resurrected Valabona Venatrix, and the Jurassic World Dominion Giganotosaurus. Those abominations mentioned earlier are now known as tree creepers, as shown in the show Primeval. In more modern times, Ricky has corrupted 2 new angels of Spinofaarism, with those being David Peters, more about him, in another video, and Jack Horner. Alright, I get that so far this has been a lot to take in. So, depending on your whole view on this, I've got either good news or bad news. The news, in general, is that we still have more to go and it only gets crazier from here. Honestly, this is a side note that I should have mentioned in the beginning of this video, but as stated by the realm of Spinofaarus, Spinofaarus has every conceivable power and more. Our Spinofaarus is also stronger than the average Spinofaarus. Our Spinofaarus literally manages the whole multiverse, but primarily focuses on our universe due to it being their homeland. Before I get to the final point, I'd like to say the enemies of Spinofaarism. The first enemy is Spinosaurus the King. He is one of our top enemies for one simple reason, and that is this photo displayed on the screen now. The next enemy is Huey Toonmore and the Church of Oathgar, the Chasmosaurus. This Chasmosaurus is different from the Chad Chasmosaurus. They are enemies of Spinofaarism because they have quite literally shown their direct hatred towards us. The next enemy is David Peters, who I am literally going to make a whole other video on, so stay tuned for that. The enemy after that is none other than anti-science organizations like AIG. They are enemies of Spinofaarism since they blatantly lie about science, and a lot of their beliefs violate every science with an ology in it. The final enemy on our list is Ghidorah. Ghidorah is literally planning to kill Spinofaarus. Since this video is long enough as it is, I have one more topic to go over, and it is, quite frankly, the wildest out of the bunch. This topic is the multiverse. So this may or may not have started as a joke between me and the Chameleons, where we created the funny idea for Pish into the Pabloverse. So, the most well-researched section of the multiverse are Pablos. To our knowledge, at the moment, there are around 17 well researched Pablos, with one of them being dead. Some of the more notable examples are Pablo the Soul Devourer, Pablo the Dream Guardian, and Pablo Prime. Again, just a quick side note, we are not the Prime universe. We are the original universe known as Universe Alpha. The Prime universe is also known as Universe A. Anyway, most, if not all, universes are labeled by a letter in the English or Greek alphabet. There are some exceptions, though. Pablo the Soul Devourer basically devoured the soul of everything in his universe and then was put into the strongest multiversal jail for trying to do the same thing to other universes. Soul Devourer eventually broke out of the multiversal jail and killed Pablo the Dream Guardian. Pablo Prime is a different story. Pablo Prime eventually, in the 2030s, got a power surge that allowed him to kill his universe's Spinofaarus, and then proceeded to kill all of the angels and favored angels. Some of the favored angels just can't die. For instance, Larry and He. So they're just in hiding, but when they fought Pablo Prime, they got the closest thing they could ever come to death. Pablo Prime then proceeded to take control of universes B, C, D, and E, with each of them having their own Pablos, but we don't quite know anything about them considering that they are dead. This video script is officially too long, so I will not be talking about the regular angels of Spinofaarism. Now, for those who stuck until the end, I'd like to say a huge thank you for listening to all this rambling. So it would actually help me get this out in the algorithm if you liked and left a comment. I would like to thank some of the other YouTubers for helping build out this lore for the religion. If you, the viewer, want to join Spinofaarism and slash or help build out the lore, then you can join the official Discord server, which, like the other videos, I've linked in the description. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.